And welcome along to Channel 4's The Real Football Fan Show podcast with me, Robbie Lyle, the show that's made for the fans. On today's show, we put Daniel Elahi from The Apprentice, who was one of the finalists, on the spot. In the studio, representing Southampton, we've got Will, we've got Jim Daly, a Crystal Palace fan, and also a Chelsea fan in Ben. He's live here in the studio with us. There's a title race to talk about, the battle for the top four, and of course the relegation dogfight. Plus there's transfer noise, the manager and merry-go-rounds, and loads more this week on The Real Football Fan Show, made for the fans. Now let me introduce my guest. Jim Daly's in the building. Good friend of mine. Good to see you here, Jim. Crystal Palace fan, how you doing?
I'm very good, thanks for having me.
We got Will back, Southampton fan. It's looking rosier now for Southampton, isn't it?
It is, man, it is. Things have dramatically
Big Ralph?
improved. Yeah, big Ralph, the rabbit of geniusness. Yeah.
All right, and we've got first time here, Ben, a Chelsea fan. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
All right, listen, let's just jump straight into it. You know, I'm going to start with you, Ben.
Oh, great.
Because it's a huge game. This weekend features your team Chelsea, my team Arsenal. It's at the Emirates Stadium. It's a real battle for top four. Chelsea, you got that win last week against Newcastle, which was really important. Arsenal, of course, suffered a shock defeat against West Ham. Arsenal really need to win that to try and peg you guys backwards. You're 6 points above them at the moment. If you win that, though, you really will be cementing your top four place. How are you feeling ahead of that game?
I'm nervous, to be fair. You know, whenever you lose to like a really small team, it just gives you that sort of incentive to win the next big game. And obviously, we're the next big game at the weekend.
What have you made of the new manager, Sarri?
Love him
this season, because it's a little bit mixed, isn't it? There's been some fans sort of saying, "Oh, you know, his record ain't been that as great as they was expecting this time round."
Well, I mean, he started off really well. I mean, he went on like a massive unbeaten streak, which no Chelsea manager done for quite a while. I mean, obviously, I know Conte last season, 2 seasons ago, went on that unbeaten run, but that was after he started really sloppy after obviously losing to you guys 3-0. That's what kick-started that. But Sarri, I think he's a bit different. Obviously, he's not really experienced like a huge managerial job before. Obviously, I know Napoli was the biggest club he'd ever managed. Obviously, he climbed up through the ranks, but obviously Chelsea, as it stands, is probably the biggest job he has for a long time.
And do you like his style of football? There's a lot of people. I hear a lot of Chelsea fans going sideways.
Yeah,
he doesn't seem to want to play with a striker. All these false number nines. He's got two strikers sitting on the bench. I mean,
I think the problem is obviously to actually play with a striker, we need a striker.
You got two?
No.
You got Morata?
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, but Morata's like a glorified one-on-one misser. You know, you can't play someone who misses open goals all the time.
You paid 75 million quid for him, right? You know what I mean?
And it's stupid. I mean, it's no. He
was scoring goals at Juventus.
Yeah, but you've got Neymar to blame for that sort of fee. You know, and when you go to PSG for 222 million, you're gonna just break all the transfers. I mean, you look at like now suddenly Callum Wilson's rated at 50 million pounds now. When like before the Neymar transfer, you struggled to get 20 million for him, and
Wilson scores goals.
Hang on,
here we go.
You're blaming Neymar for the fact that inflation is right. Shit comes from Abramovich.
We're blaming Neymar for
Please
Brexit.
tell me who in their right mind would sign Morata for 75 million?
Chelsea.
Obviously. But before the Neymar transfer, who would sign? Obviously, I know we signed Torres for 50 million before it happened, so...
You like signing strikers that don't score goals?
Hold on, Jim. On the striker front,
as
a Crystal Palace fan, you know, I mean, you seem to lack strikers as well. What's happened to benteke, by the way? Where is he?
He's injured. He came back on Saturday for his first game since September, but he also doesn't score goals either. Yeah. So I don't know what's happened with him.
In the context of it, you paid a lot of money for him.
28 million, which for us is ridiculous money. He scored 17 in his first season, but. Something happened last season and he only scored 3, and it just, I don't know, whether it's confidence or change of system or Roy's too old, I don't know, something changed.
With Palace, right, I mean, I think Palace, I look at them, they're a good team. You beat Man City the other day.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
And before the show, I was like, as I was preparing, I was like, yeah, you know what, Palace are doing all right, you know what I mean, they're having a defense. Then I looked, You're only 4 points above
I know.
the relegation zone.
We like to make things interesting, okay? We don't like boring seasons. We like to have either, you know, promotion battles or relegation battles. But we should be doing better. We've got a good squad, but for some reason it hasn't happened this season. We don't score goals. We've got the best 4th or 5th best defence in the league in terms of clean sheets, but we just do not score goals.
And you're up against a team this weekend that does score a lot of goals in Liverpool. We all remember those epic battles. You seem to be that bit of a bogey team when it comes to.
We used to be. Last couple of seasons, they've beaten us a few times. Yeah, we used to be their bogey team. I can't see us getting anything from this game this weekend.
Beat Man City.
I mean, that was honestly one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in my entire life. I was still there about an hour after the final whistle on the ground on my own, just like looking around, being like, what have I just witnessed? Like, can you leave, please? That was a one-off, I think. That was like a little sort of microcosm of what Palace can do, of their ability. But we're not consistent.
But then that's going to, you know, the players there should go to Liverpool with no fear, because a decent record against Liverpool.
I totally
agree. And after what they did at City, surely, you know, they'll go there with no fear.
Yeah, I agree, and they should do, but I think Liverpool's front three will have too much for us.
Last time you came here, you were so depressed. I remember that, right? You was depressed about Southampton. But now you got the new guy in, Big Ralph.
I think
Ralph Hasenhuttl.
I was quite happy actually, Robbie. I think I was like, oh my God, we've got the next Jurgen Klopp, blah blah blah, and I've been proved right for literally the one and only time in my life.
You beat Arsenal. That was like his first game in charge. You beat Arsenal. That was a big win.
Yeah, and then beat Huddersfield away, and then it's sort of the wheels came off a little bit. Didn't really just basically ran out of steam against West Ham. But when we drew against Chelsea, like that was a phenomenal defensive display. It's absolutely fantastic.
And then another big win last week at Leicester. Leicester been doing all right, and that was another big win.
Well, yes. So for me, I've seen Leicester and Everton recently, and Leicester, I was like, my God, these guys are doing so well. They reminded me of why I was so disappointed we got rid of Puel in the first place. And then we go and beat them 2-1 away, which is just unthinkable, really.
But again, as I was looking at it again before the show, and I'm like, Southampton, they're all right, they're doing good. Big Ralph's come in, and he's really turned it around, and he has. But you're still only 1 point above that relegation zone, so you still got
cheers, mate. Yeah.
You still got to keep winning, haven't you? You've got to keep winning.
That's the aim of the game, Robbie. In football, we've got to keep winning.
Sleeping number one.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just think we've had the luck of the draw for so long this season. Every team around us has lost when we've lost, and we've had one, maybe two sort of like rounds of matches where the other teams have actually won. So Ralph has literally just had to keep the results coming in just to keep our heads above water. I predict now that we'll start pulling away from that lot.
Confident this weekend?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we talk about Palace not having a striker, Chelsea not having a striker. We really don't have a striker at all. We're relying on
Charlie Austin.
You've got three. Shane Long. Charlie Austin.
Shane Long's prolific now. He scored last week.
Charlie Austin put two fingers up at Charlie Austin put two fingers up at City fans. Got a 2-match ban. What an idiot!
Well, if you want Morata, you can have him.
Yeah. And then,
listen, I love Charlie Austin. Ever since he done that interview that time when he went in about the referees and the VAR and that, I love him. I love him.
He can be used well, but basically we're relying on Shane Long, and hats off to him. He did very well.
He scored the winning. He's back,
and he won the penalty. Yeah, but he's back. My God, it's almost hard to remember the glory days of Shane Long, but they are there. They are there.
2002.
Yeah, 2000. I mean,
what about Danny Ings?
Yeah, Danny again injured. And then Obafemi, our new young exciting player. Injured, hamstrings. It's but I think the transfer window will alleviate a lot of that pressure.
I want to ask you all actually about young players, right? Because all three of you guys, you've just said Obafemi, really really good young player at your club coming through, in Southampton known for producing young players. Chelsea, Hudson-Odoi. Do you think he's going to stay this transfer window? Do you think he'll go? Bayern Munich want him. He hasn't yet signed a new contract. And why should he stay at Chelsea? He'll never get a game, will he?
Hey.
Well, unless I think the only way to sign contracts is if there's actually a clause that states he's got to play a certain amount of games a season. I think that's the only way I can see him sign a new contract. Otherwise, I think he will go to Bayern.
Chelsea got to give these guys a chance, haven't they?
Of course we do.
Loftus-Cheek.
Well,
you know, why don't they get a chance?
Huh? No, Loftus-Cheek has been given a chance. You've got to think the amount of games he's played last season to the amount of games he's played this season. You know, it's a massive difference.
It's a bit part player. You may as well have left him at Palace, shouldn't you?
With youth, I mean, Chelsea have probably one of the best youth productions. Obviously, our
yeah, but
youth
where
team.
are they?
I know.
Where are they?
They're constantly on loan, and you know what? I'm actually looking forward to this new FIFA rule coming in, because with the amount of loans that you can actually be limited to, it just shows who's a deadwood at Chelsea and who might actually have a future.
Palace.
Yeah.
Wan-Bissaka. Right, I can tell you a little story about Wan-Bissaka. Where my son is at a football academy, and there's one of the other dads there who's runs Palace's academy, and I remember that he got the call when Wan-Bissaka was in the team, and literally it is because there was about 3 defenders injured, and that's how he got in. And I remember that day I was chatting to him after, because we always talk, and I was going, well, you've been on your phone the whole session, you ain't even been watching your son. And he goes, Robbie, they've called Wan-Bissaka into the first team, and we're really excited. And he goes, I hope, he goes, he's got a lot of potential, but obviously you never know if he's gonna. And he's been brilliant. He's one of the best fullbacks now in the league, isn't he?
Well, in Europe, I believe he's made the most tackles of any defender in the top 5 divisions in Europe. He is the real deal. He's 20, I think, or 21. He plays like a sort of 30-year-old experienced fullback. He looks like he's been playing for years, and he's only played 30 games for us, maybe, in the first team. The way he tackles is unbelievable. Forwards look like they got past him, and his leg comes out of nowhere. It's like sort of gadget legs. Yeah, they just come out of nowhere and get the ball. He's unbelievable. He's so confident as well.
Are you going to be able to keep hold of him now?
Well, this is the thing.
You keep hold of him now, January, but come the summer.
I don't know. I really don't know. I think the fact that Wilf Zaha went to United and then came back to us might be an indication to younger players that actually maybe you stay at your club a bit longer. Get 100 games under your belt, 150 games, and then maybe look to move on. So I think we'll keep him for a bit, but if he keeps progressing the way he is, I could see him at a top 6 team.
Mate, what planet are you on? There's no way that's going to happen. Every top 6 club needs a defender.
But there are a lot of right backs. There's a lot of right backs at the moment.
He'd be perfect at Arsenal. I mean, Southampton, who you got coming through? Oh you always seem to have loads.
Mate, since Hasenhüttl's come in, it has been like an absolute deluge, tidal wave of youth.
Because he's been giving them all a chance, hasn't he?
Yeah, because he wants to see, like no other manager I've ever experienced before. He has literally gone from top to bottom, checking out everyone available, and it's not just because of injury plight, but just because he's interested. He wants to see the full capabilities of the team. Of the whole structure of the club, and that's so exciting. I don't think personally that we have the likes of Gareth Bale in there and what have you, Theo Walcott. But there's still real potential there.
You guys always produce good players at Southampton.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's not, like I said, it's not as exciting. I mean, gosh, I don't want any Saints fans to reprimand me for some of the players we do have, but I think we have, they have fallen by the wayside. We have loaned them out incorrectly and used them in a haphazard kind of fashion. But I think with Hasenhüttl, it's back. I think we'll see a lot more potential come through.
Okay, brilliant. Listen, on today's show, we put Daniel Elahi from The Apprentice, who was one of the finalists, on the spot. Hi, welcome along to a very special On the Spot. I've got Daniel Elahi with me. Now, Daniel came 3rd in the recent Apprentice that was on TV, on BBC. Wow, 3rd.
Yeah, man.
To even get past the first round in that stuff, to come 3rd, I mean, that's brilliant.
Yeah, I know. To get onto the process is super, super tough. And, all the way through, I thought I was going to win. Disappointed not to win, but 3rd is still a big achievement.
Now, originally, you're from Bristol.
Yes.
And you're a Bristol City fan.
Yes.
But you also, just before we came on here, we was having a little talk behind the scenes, and you're saying that you've also got a soft spot for Arsenal, and you're kind of an Arsenal fan as well. But you can't support 2 teams, can you? What's going on?
So, Arsenal are probably my first love, but Bristol's my home city. So I've got to back both of them.
Come on, man. You can only back one.
If it came down to it, if they played...
If you could only back one, if they're playing each other, who are you backing?
It's Arsenal.
Ooh,
Arsenal.
Ooh, you got to go back to Bristol, you know.
I'm repping. I got the half and half shirt.
Now on Bristol, let's go Bristol City first. I mean, Bristol City are one of those clubs that they're a big club in a big city, but they just never really got to the highest level. Why do you think that is?
It's a shame. You know what? I'd say we're the biggest team to have never been in the Prem. And I'm struggling to see what it is. We've got, a great owner. He's invested in the club, building a sustainable club. We've got pretty much a new stadium.
Impressive stadium as well.
An impressive stadium, absolutely. And we're getting a solid amount of fans every week. We had the great run about 10 years ago where we got to the playoff finals. Unfortunately, hearts broken in the last minute. And since then, we've kind of always been in contention for playoff, but never really kind of achieved what we should. But I don't think it's long before we're in the Prem. Couple of seasons max.
They had a good FA Cup run as well last year, didn't they?
Yeah, we did. Very good. I mean, this year we got through again on the weekend. So, things are going well, but I think the cup runs end up hurting us. The further we get in the cup, the less we haven't got the depth of squad to be doing a massive cup run and also be focusing on the league. So for me, it seems a bit kind of like pessimistic. I'd rather we get out of the cups and we can just focus on the league.
I bet the owner's desperate for the club. It seems like an obvious answer, but desperate for the club to get into the Premier League, because it must be annoying for the owner when he drives around and sees people supporting Man United and Arsenal and Chelsea and this and all these various teams, because you've just never made it to the Premier League.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as I say, the ground now has got about 27,000 people in there. If we're in the Prem, you're filling that out every week. But yeah, it must be massively frustrating for him. But the good thing about Steve Lansdowne is he's ambitious, and he's kind of proved that he injects money into the club, but he does it in I'll say a sensible way. Rather than just pumping it full with millions and millions, he's ensuring that the club's sustainable. That's what he's done with the development of the stadium, and that's what you can kind of see with his acquisition. So hopefully, if it keeps on in the way it's doing, I think I'm confident. A couple of years' time, we're going to be there.
Now, why is it Bristol City and not Bristol Rovers?
We don't mention Bristol Rovers. That's a swear word. Nah, you know what it is? Where I'm born in Bristol, City's the closest club.
Okay.
So that's the home club.
Closer than Arsenal as
well. Slightly.
And who's the bigger rival to, right, which one of these will be the bigger derby game? Bristol City versus Bristol Rovers, or Bristol City versus Cardiff City?
That's a good question. I'll say City Rovers.
Yeah?
City Rovers, yeah. I've been to a few of those games and they're crazy. Yeah? They're crazy. The fans get, stadiums packed out. All the pubs beforehand are like crazy, full of fans. It's passionate.
And you got a love for Arsenal as well, you're saying?
Yeah, of course. Love Arsenal.
What have you made of them so far?
This season?
This season, yeah.
Yeah, this season they're doing well. I love the new manager. He's come in and he's changed things up, which I think was always going to be tough. You had a dinosaur in there who sat there for many, many years, and the club was so one-dimensional.
A dinosaur. I can tell he wasn't a big Wenger fan then.
But the danger always is you're getting a new manager in, and especially when you've got a manager who's been in there for such a long period of time, change was always going to be difficult. But I think hats off to him. He's done a great job.
All right, let me put this scenario for you, yeah?
Okay.
Bristol City get to the final of the FA Cup. The FA Cup.
Yeah.
And they're playing Arsenal. Who would you want to win the final?
If City win the FA Cup, the money they'll generate from that will be enough to get them into the Prem.
Yeah.
So, and Arsenal are already there. So I'm going to go with City on that one.
Bristol City on that one. And what's the future hold for you now? Apprentice finished. Are you going to be the next big mogul out there?
That's it.
Is that the plan?
That's it. It's cracking on with the business. As I say, the product revival shots, it got such a big boost from the show. We're developing new products at the moment, and it's a lot more than just, as it was spilled on the show, a hangover cure. It's all about rehydration. So we're working with a lot of sports teams. We've also got another product coming out with caffeine in it. It's going to try and target the kind of coffee market. So wake up and revitalise rather than taking your coffee, which kind of drains you of all your vitamins and minerals. So there's a lot of avenues we're exploring. So the future's definitely bright.
I've got a funny feeling that hangover cure, that would be something that football fans would jump right on. That would be, I see that Bristol City sponsored by your company on this shirt. Hangover cure. I could see that going far.
That's it. You never know. In 10 years' time, the Emirates, it could be called the Revival Stadium.
Listen, good luck with it, man.
Thanks for coming
in.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Daniel Elahi there, the Apprentice finalist. Now, listen, it's time to get into our quiz that we do every week where we find out if you're a real fan or a plastic fan.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
All right, we don't want no plastic fans in the building.
Right,
so here is the first question. Which one of these three players is the oldest? Giorgio Chiellini, the brilliant centre-back at Juventus.
Yeah.
Wayne Rooney
Oh, he's
at
pretty old.
DC United.
Yeah.
Or Cristiano Ronaldo, also of Juventus.
I don't think it's Ronaldo. Ronaldo's
Not Ronaldo, he's too young.
He's 31, I think.
Yeah.
Chiellini, I think, is older.
Cellini's about 80. So he's definitely up there.
Plus, he's Italian. They play till they're like 90.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like a fine wine. He just lives
Yeah.
off olive oil.
Yeah.
So it's probably.
Disco.
I don't see any reason it can't
who's
be
the other-
Chiellini.
who's the other guy?
Rooney.
I think Chiellini.
Rooney's
Probably a trick question. It's probably Rooney.
It's probably Ronaldo.
yeah, that's the thing. It's definitely not Ronaldo.
I would say Chiellini.
Yeah, I want to say Chiellini.
I could feel like he's close,
So
to
you're going for
40.
Chiellini?
Yeah, I'm going. Well, it's a team effort. But I
What's
would
the
say
team
Chiellini.
saying?
Last time-
I vote for Chiellini, so.
Go on then. Yeah.
But
So
I
you're
think
going
it's gonna be-
Chiellini,
but I think
right?
it's going to be Rooney.
All right. Wayne Rooney.
Mate, oh, the
Yeah, go on
suspense
then.
is killing me.
Yeah,
It's like it was right
Wayne
there.
Rooney's 33. Giorgio Chiellini is 34.
Okay.
Ronaldo's not that old.
Cristiano
35.
Ronaldo.
35.
He
31.
looks
He's 31.
good. He
it's
looks.
gotta be.
He's not 31.
Oh, no.
And he looks in good shape. We always know
32.
he's got a reputation for really keeping himself fit,
33.
keeping himself in
Here we
shape.
go.
He's so lean and
But
sexy.
he's not 31. He's
32.
33. You got it right, Giorgio Chiellini.
Ronaldo's 33. I thought it was 30.
What is the oldest ground in the Premier League?
That is a great question.
You sound like a politician,
I
Adrian.
actually, do you know what? Actually,
Bridge.
I would say Selhurst Park
Yeah.
is like 1925.
Well, no.
Craven
thing is,
Cottage?
we took Stamford Bridge.
Craven
in-
Cottage is a great shout.
thing is, we took Stamford Bridge in 1905, but it was already a ground before we took it over. It was like it was made for athletics, so it was a really old.
Okay, so do we
took
think-
Stamford Bridge? But I think there are. Oh,
Do
is
we
it in
think
the Premier
Craven
League? In the
Cottage was
Premier
like
League?
1800s?
Premier League.
I like Craven Cottage as a suggestion.
Only because it's got that
See,
old
I wanna
cottage
say
in it.
Craven
God
Cottage.
damn it.
And it looks old.
What are you going for? What are you going for? Come on.
It's got to be Craven Cottage, I
Yeah.
think.
Turf Moor, Burnley.
Yeah, yeah.
Forgot they're even a club.
Built in 1883.
about Burnley.
that's
I always
just
forget about Burnley.
reason you know of Burnley is because of the In-Betweeners movie. Let's be real.
Built in 1883.
Wow.
One of the
Okay.
you're dissing Burnley, one of the original clubs.
They are, that's fair.
One of
point,
the
actually.
original
We apologise
clubs,
to any
Burnley.
Burnley listeners.
You better apologise,
sorry.
especially if you've got to go out this thing.
Yeah, Sean Dyche, sorry.
Yeah,
Right,
sorry, Sean.
which one of these clubs have had the lowest attendance in the Premier League? Bournemouth,
Yeah.
Wimbledon, or Brighton?
No, it's not Brighton.
Don't let rivalry take over here.
I know. I'm fairly certain that Wimbledon have the record for the lowest attendance.
Yeah.
I think in the Premier League.
I mean, the majority are saying Wimbledon,
I think
so
Wimbledon.
we might as well go for Wimbledon.
I think Wimbledon.
Remember, Brighton didn't always have that ground.
Are the with so,
Oh, but they weren't in- they
I thought
weren't
you were talking
in
about
the-
now. Like this
Remember
is,
the Wivdean
they-
was
this
is a
they were
badly
sharing
phrased
a
question.
They
team.
weren't in the Prem with the Wivdean,
Right.
though, were they?
So,
He's just playing.
Can't
with
be Brighton
us.
because
He's just playing toying with
this
us.
is ridiculous. Like I'm actually opting out now. I want a second referendum.
I like that. You don't need a second referendum because you've got it right. It's Wimbledon.
Yeah.
Right? 1993, Wimbledon versus Everton. They got 3,039. And I remember going there with Arsenal, and it must have been about 20,000 fans there. And I swear, probably about 16,000 were Arsenal. It was ridiculous. Right, you know what we're going to get into now as well? We've got to get into Challenge Robbie, right? So this is where, we do some predictions on the games. If you get the exact result right, you get 3 points. If you get the outcome of the game right, you get a point. And of course, if you get it completely wrong, 0 point. We got 3 games we're going to look at this week, right? Last week I came joint top, me and Flex. We both got a point each.
Okay.
There was a load of shock results, but we're going to start off with Arsenal versus Chelsea. It's the big game of the weekend. 5:30 kickoff on a Saturday. Massive game. Let's start with you, Ben. Let's get your prediction for that one.
Oh, I want to say draw. I want to, but I want to go with my heart because I think I'm going to say 2-1 Chelsea.
Jim?
I really like Arsenal under Emery. I think they look really good. And I'm assuming everyone's fit up front. If you got the two up front, they're going to play.
Lacazette and Aubameyang will be fit.
I like them a lot. I think I feel like Arsenal do better against Chelsea at the Emirates. So I'm going
most definitely
to go.
Got a shocking record at Stamford Bridge, that's for sure.
I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal.
2-1 Arsenal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Will?
I think I'll just go. I will. I think I predicted a Chelsea result last time against City, and Chelsea came out winners. So I think I'm going to go Arsenal definitely because they've got strikers. Simple as that. Yeah. And Chelsea really
got
are.
no defence.
Really
That's a problem.
Did I get that one wrong as well?
You don't know what you're talking about.
I'm going to get my coat in a minute. 2-0 Arsenal.
2-0 Arsenal.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go. You know what? It's going to be a very. I think it's going to be a very close game because I think the teams are fairly evenly matched. I think Chelsea do have the better team because they've got a better defence. But Arsenal,
Really?
yeah.
We only have like Rudiger. That's it, and that's been quite.
Well, that's more than what we got. Our defence is shocking. I'm going to go for Arsenal winning by 2-1 as well. Newcastle versus Cardiff, a game that's got a lot of significance for both of your two teams because Will and Jim, because you guys are, you're not clear of that relegation zone. It's a massive 6-pointer, as the cliche goes, between these two. Hard game to call. Newcastle going to be without Lascelles as well, who got injured in that FA Cup game the other night. Jim, who are you going for?
The first game was 0-0, wasn't it? And it was absolutely awful. I think it was the first live game on TV, one of the first ones, and it was terrible. I feel like this one's kind of got 0-0 written all over it again. I don't think it's going to be high scoring. Neil Warnock's too busy with Brexit to actually think about picking his team.
His comments on
Through the rest of the world.
Yeah, you're own my Malaysian businessman. I think it's going to be 0-0. Yeah, I think it's going to be a very dull 0-0, but I think both teams will take it.
Sorry, I'm being presumptuous here that it's my go, but I think that Newcastle will win through. At least that's my hope. I'd prefer it if Cardiff went down and Newcastle stayed up if I had to pick between the two.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
What are you going for scoreline?
Sorry, I will go 3-0 Newcastle.
3-0?
Sure.
Yeah, I am sure.
When did Newcastle score 3 goals this season?
Now I know why you're so bad on these.
I think it's Ben's turn now.
Ben, what are you going for?
Well, there's a load of factors I've got to put in. Obviously, going to extra time against Blackburn has done Newcastle no favours.
True.
And obviously,
I like the way you're breaking this down with science.
And obviously, the thing going on with Mike Ashley, that's again doing them no favours.
Yeah, but that's been going on for about the last God knows how many years.
I think Cardiff might nick it.
Yeah?
I think we could see a 1-0 Cardiff.
1-0 Cardiff. Okay.
Across the board.
Oh, you know what? Under Rafa as well, I think they've been very negative this season. And for that reason, I'm going to go for a draw as well. I think this is going to be 1-1. All right, final game is an East Midlands derby. Really interesting game, this one. Wolves versus Leicester.
Ooh.
Let's start with you, Will.
Oh my god. I feel like I've been handed a crusty pancake. I don't know how to eat it. I need some honey. I think Vardy was...
Where are you going with this?
Yeah, where are you going with this?
My honey... My honey is Jamie Vardy because he's going to dive left, right and centre.
Yeah.
And 1-0 Leicester.
1-0 Leicester.
Yeah.
I agree. Actually, Leicester are a funny team, aren't they?
They are a funny team.
You can't always work out what they're going to do.
Don't sack Puel, for Christ's sake. He's a good manager. Anyway,
Can I do the same score as well? Am I allowed to do that?
Of course you can.
What would you say? 1-0?
1-0, yeah. 1-0.
Nah, actually, Will's not very good at this. I'm going to go. I'm going to go 2-1 Leicester.
2-1 to Leicester.
What's a Marmite?
What thing is, Wolves. I've got to put this 3. Wolves do well at Molineux. I should know. I went there and it was absolutely tragic. Didn't get home till like 4 in the morning and I was just so annoyed. But then again, Leicester, it's like two teams that can do well against big teams. You know, like Leicester beat us at the Bridge, Wolves beat us at Molineux, Leicester beat City.
Chelsea, basically.
Yeah,
You should against the big teams.
funny.
Ooh.
I want to say 2-2 draw.
2-2 draw. Okay. I'm going to go again, it's so hard to call this, but you know what? I think Leicester, if they lose this game, Puel's gone.
Oh, come on, really?
No, 100%. I think, you know, the fans are so against him.
Oh my
I think that'd be a mistake.
I think if he loses this game to Wolves, I think he could be the next manager.
Leicester have to know who they are.
Yeah, but what it is, right? They don't like his style of football. They don't like it. You listen to Leicester fans; they're just constantly moaning about Puel.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to lose it because I think they have to win it.
Yeah.
So, and I think maybe the fact that Wolves played during the week, Leicester are good on counter-attacking team.
Yeah.
They're not as good when their emphasis is on them to go and have a go. So I'm going to go for Leicester nicking this one. I'm going to go Leicester winning this by 1-0. Vardy to get the winning goal. The honey on the pancake. The honey on the pancake. That's what I'm going to go for. Finally, before we go, you guys all confident about your teams this week? I know from you, Ben, but
no, I'd be surprised.
Palace.
It wouldn't be out of the realms. Away at Liverpool.
Away at Liverpool.
Yeah. But as you said, with the City result earlier, it wouldn't be crazy for us to get a result. We do sometimes pull results out.
Yep.
But I think Liverpool at the moment, they're too consistent. They've got too much for us, probably. It won't be a hammering, but I think it'll be 2-0 Liverpool, probably.
And Southampton's chances?
Against Everton at home, Marco Silva, if you think, if you're talking about managers going, he's going to go soon.
You think?
I think so.
He won last week. He won his game last week.
I can't see it for my long term, and I think we've got it. I think we'll do it.
The best thing for him.
I think 2-1 Saints.
2-1, and also just before I go, anybody you're going to bring in the transfer window?
Probably not.
Do you think Higuain's going to come to Chelsea?
It looks certain, but I don't.
You don't sound happy about that. Higuain's he's a goal scorer. He's proven. He played under Sarri.
But how many chances does he miss as well? He misses chances as well. But I think we just need a young striker that we can believe in, or
maybe look in the youth team. You might find one. This is a great youth system you were telling us about.
Abraham is literally the answer.
Tammy Abraham, yeah.
Or either that, or if Morata wants to go to Atletico Madrid, bring back Thiago Costa. Why not? Find some cash, bring back Costa.
Will anybody you got coming in? You think?
I've heard rumours. Obviously, they're all German related. I think Yusuf Poulsen would be a really good addition from Leipzig. It's just whether or not he could ever be prized out of that winning team. But we'll see. Yeah, that would be a really good addition.
And Jim, anybody for Palace?
No, I've heard we haven't got any money to spend, so we'll be looking at loan signings. And
that sounds like you're talking about Arsenal.
Basically, I'll say it was Arsenal. Yeah, so we'll be battling for loan signings between us. I maybe a striker, but I'm not that confident.
Not confident they'll bring anyone in at all?
No.
So I've been really itching to say something all podcasts, on behalf of every football fan minus Liverpool. Please beat them. Liverpool cannot win the league. Really, they cannot win the league. We
are going to try.
I think Liverpool have got a good chance of winning it this year. I really do.
I really hope they don't.
Listen, guys, thank you very much. Don't forget, actually, this is the last of the podcast of the series. If you want to get the results from Challenge Robbie, just check out the Real Football Fan Show Twitter account, and we will give you the results to find out if any of these guys. It's a waste of time. I'm going to win this already. I've got it. Right.
All the Saints fans hopeless.
Thank you very much, guys. You've been listening to Channel 4's The Real Football Fan Show podcast. Make sure you subscribe, rate us, and review us. It's very important. And we've got exciting news. We are back. Catch The Real Football Fan Show next week, Friday, on Channel 4, the 25th of January at midnight. It's going to be a fantastic show. Make sure you tune in. That's The Real Football Fan Show, made for the fans.